Hey everyone! Today we're continuing our journey through the major arcana and following our last chat about the Wheel of Fortune, which is that big cosmic spinner. The next card in line, or at least one of the next, is the powerful and thought-provoking Justice card. Now, just a quick heads up before we dive in. If you've got a couple of different tarot decks, you might notice something interesting right off the bat. Justice can sometimes show up as card number 8 in some decks and as card number 11 in others. And this is because historically, the order of Justice and the Strength card got swapped around in different tarot traditions. The Ryder Waite Smith deck, which many of us use, which is this one, places Justice at number 11. So just a little historical tidbit so that you know your deck isn't broken if you see a different number. So what is the big deal with Justice? When we talk about this card, it's not just about lawsuits and courtrooms, although that's definitely part of its domain. This card is all about balance, truth, getting things square, and it's about that fundamental sense and idea of fairness, both out in the world and crucially within ourselves. Where does justice come from? A historical glimpse, think about where this powerful image even originated. It's ancient. We're talking Greek goddesses like Themis, Roman ones like Justitia, often depicted with scales and a sword. When tarot decks first popped up centuries ago in Italy, including such a universally understood symbol of law and order, was a no-brainer. So early justice cards mirrored these classical images, symbolizing fairness and moral equilibrium. Over time, tarot evolved and integrated more esoteric traditions. The core imagery stuck, but its layers of meaning deepened significantly. And when justice shows up in a reading, it's usually saying, okay, pay attention to fairness, to what's true, and to your actions. It's basically the universe reminding you that every action has a reaction. This isn't necessarily about being judged in a scary, punitive way, but more about acknowledging that the scales of life are constantly adjusting based on what you put into them. And honestly, its relevance today is huge. It's huge in your daily life. Justice often pops up when you're facing a big decision where you really need to weigh things up carefully. You know, like when you're trying to be completely objective about something messy or complex. It can also point to times when you need to step up and take responsibility for something you've done, or maybe even something someone else did to you that needs to be addressed. It's about looking at things honestly, even if it's a bit uncomfortable. Justice can also be highly symbolic of certain situations or even people in your life. It could literally represent a legal matter or contract negotiation or any scenario where fairness is paramount. It might symbolize a judge or a lawyer, or simply someone who embodies impartiality and integrity. And sometimes it's a powerful reminder that you need to be the one embodying justice, or being fair, or standing up for what's right, mediating a conflict, or ensuring everyone involved is treated fairly. Now let's have a look at this card itself. You usually see this calm, regal figure seated straight up. In one hand, they'll be holding a sword, pointing straight up, and that's the sword of truth, of clear intellect. It cuts through the noise and it shows you what's real. It's not about aggression, but about precision and clarity. In the other hand, they have those perfectly balanced scales. That's all about impartiality, making sure every side of the story gets heard and weighed equally. But here's a cool detail. Often, classical depictions of Lady Justice have her blindfolded, symbolising that Justice is blind to personal bias or status. But in the Ryder Waite Smith deck, her eyes are wide open and clear. And that's a powerful choice. It suggests that true justice isn't about ignoring anything, but it's about seeing everything with full awareness and insight before coming to a fair conclusion. You'll often see her sitting between pillars or in front of a curtain, which echoes the High Priestess and hints at deep hidden truths or gateways to higher understanding. Numerologically, if you're rocking a deck where justice is number 11, like this one, that is pretty significant because 11 is a master number in numerology. It's often linked to intuition, spiritual insight, and illumination. It's like number 1, new beginnings, leadership, doubled up, pushing you toward a powerful kind of balance and truth. And if you reduce the number 11 to 1 + 1, which equals 2, it connects you to the High Priestess again, which is about intuition, duality, and seeing beneath the surface. It all links together beautifully. Now, if your deck has justice as number 8, that number brings its own powerful energy, and the number 8 in numerology is all about power, authority, achievement, karma, and it's often associated with material success and executive ability, but also with responsibility and consequence. It's the number of balance between the spiritual and material, representing the idea that what you put out, you get back. A very direct link to justice and fairness. It's strong, it's decisive energy. So whether it's an 8 or an 11, the core message of balance and truth definitely shines through. Colour-wise, we look at the colours. Justice often features a lot of blues and reds and yellows. Blue is usually about truth, calm, the spiritual side of things. It makes sense for universal law, right? So red can be about action, passion, the dynamic energy required to enforce decisions. And the yellow is all about intellect, consciousness, the light of truth, shining on things, being illuminated. They all work together to evoke a sense of integrity and clarity. And finally, how does justice fit into our fool's journey? Our fool, just started out at card 0, which is the fool, innocent, ready to leap into the unknown. And he quickly learned to manifest and use his skills with the magician. And then he tapped into his intuition with inner wisdom, with the High Priestess. Life got creative and abundant with the Empress. And then he learned about structure, authority, and discipline from the Emperor. Then on the journey next, they might have sought guidance from tradition and established belief systems with the Hierophant before he faced those big life choices and understanding true connection with the Lovers. Then after that, he really started to exert his will and overcome obstacles with the Chariot. And then came the Strength card, where he learned about inner strength, inner fortitude, compassion, and taming his own wilder instincts. And after all that interaction with the world, he often retreated for some quiet introspection and inner truth-seeking with the Hermit. And then, as we just talked about it, he encountered the Wheel of Fortune, where he learned that life is cyclical, full of ups and downs, and there are bigger forces at play. So by the time he reaches this card, the Justice card, he's been through quite a bit. This card is really important. It's a really important stop. It's where the Fool truly learns about accountability. It's the moment he realizes that life isn't just random events or even just personal will, that there's a system, there's a moral compass, and that choices have consequences. It's about learning to make wise and ethical decisions. It's about taking responsibility for his actions and striving for balance, both personally and in how they interact with others. It sets him up for the next big lesson, armed with integrity and a clearer understanding of what's fair and what's true. So basically, the Justice card is this strong, clear message. Integrity matters, honesty is key, and balance is crucial for a harmonious existence. It's a call to look at your own biases, to weigh your options carefully, and to act with fairness and truth. It's comforting in a way to know that things tend to balance out in the end. It's a truly compelling card that pushes us to be mindful co-creators in the grand tapestry of life. What are your thoughts on the Justice card? So if it has shown up in your readings, let me know if you do any tarot readings. The other thing I forgot to mention is that this is also the card for Libra. So as it is the scales, it's an easy one to remember, as scales represent Libra in the zodiac sign, in the zodiac, and as does Justice. So Libra is all about balance and equality and fairness, and this is Libra's card. So as always, guys, if you're following along and you're trying to learn the tarot, and this is just giving you a basic understanding of what the major arcana is about, then the easiest thing to do, as I keep saying, is just pop this somewhere. It's in your eye line every day so that you can see it and you can study it and you can say, hey, what does this make me feel today? Is this card making me feel, that I have balance in my life? Do I need to find more balance in my life? Do I embody equality? But it might tell you other things. You might be looking at the expression on that face there. Jot down how you feel, how it makes you feel, what messages it brings you, how this ties into your life. Thank you as always, guys. Please leave comments down below and let me know. Maybe you're Libra, maybe this is your card and you either feel the connection with this card or you don't. Thank you so much, guys, as always. Thank you for your love, your support, your encouragement and your engagement. I return to you tenfold. I'll see you next time. Enjoy the journey.